question that I get from people, and I'm still, after all these years, baffled by it, is well, do all women need skincare, and uh, do all women need makeup help? And it's like, well, men and women. It's not just women. Men have skin too. Our guest today is very popular and very well known in our industry and has been for a while. And anytime it's mentioned, his name is mentioned, go, oh, I just love him. He has the answer to this. And he's also got some things that I want you to know that in the description, there will be links. And he's got a very fascinating interview also, well, with a link to that probably on his website. Michael Moore, welcome to Happy Skin Over 50.
Well, thank you today.
I'm Jill Russell, host of Happy Skin Over 50. Now, let's just start off by the men issue. Men are starting even more now to let it be known, because I know, being in the industry, a lot of men really kind of kept it hidden that they were receiving skincare and they were taking care of their skin at home. Now more men are doing it, but even if they wore some type of enhancement or makeup, they didn't tell anybody. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, men have, but they usually are stealing it from their wives, right? And then they're on to cover up this redness in my face. So I really love that so many companies nowadays are towards men. And I've been in this industry for 34 years. And I probably who never wears makeup. And, when I'm on television and all that kind of stuff. But every once in a while, like here in Denver, and all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, wait, my dark circles are needed to brighten them up a little bit more. And I was also watching another where the television show has like 3 women on it and 3 men on it. It said when they went to a wedding that they thought the groom should have had a little makeup on his face. It would have looked that much better. And so I really do think that people are Instagram, this world of TikTok and everything else, that we're looking to just look a little bit more put together. And if it just needs a little bit of powder or a little concealer.
The time was for television, and this is before HD, also of high definition television, way back when, even before color was all that popular. The makeup artist would apply makeup to politicians and televangelists. They wore makeup and they looked good, and people voted for them and contributed to their cause, I guess, or something. Right.
Yeah.
But now it's general public, all ages, right?
A good friend of mine used to travel with Barack Obama. And so she would he was going to be seen anywhere, and would put makeup on him and perfect him. And I remember years ago when they would always talk about Ronald Reagan wearing blush. And little thing that he was wearing blush. And he wasn't wearing blush. That was just the rosacea that he had on his face. Such a big topic of consideration. I thought was really, really interesting, and how it's so strong that men are wearing makeup on stage nowadays, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What should men be doing now? What is a starting point if someone is a little leery? Of course, they're going in and they're rifling through whatever the females in their house may be using, but there are specific products, and you sell products, so people can go to your website, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. But what should they be doing now? What should they look for themselves?
Yeah. The number one thing anybody should be looking for is sunscreen. Something that will perfect the face, something that will be like a treatment product all in one. Because men are still always going to be layers are going to be using in skincare or makeup. They always want something that's going to be easy, something that will be effective. So I always find like a sunscreen. Like we have a brand called Lyra Clinical that we sell, and there's a one that's called, which will give just a little bit of warmth to the skin and a little bit more of a evening product. And one of my absolute favorites of Lyra Clinical is the BBs, the line of one that's called BB Bright, which is totally clear. But what I like about it has a like, which is actually to take away all the redness. And for somebody like you, when you're doing skincare treatments, you can actually put it right on a person after having a microdermabrasion or a chemical peel. Well, for me, for a woman, I put it on as a primer for her makeup. But then for myself, I wear it. It has arginine and arbutin in it, so it actually helps with dark circles and dark spots. It's got, which is great for the redness in my face, and it just takes it all away, and it makes a person look even that.
You know, when recently professionals voted on most popular items and everything, and there were several in Lyra Clinical that were voted the top or the second. But there's one that when I first started making notes that, I want to get Michel Moore on here, was one thing that you have is a hydrating mineral mist. You sell that, right?
Yeah. Yes. That stuff is amazing. And not to mention it's just good when you put it on. But that is essential when you're here in Colorado. Just wake up the face just to give a little bit more of an uplift, and just keep the skin is very important here in Colorado.
Now, we're not talking about just summer too, because winter, especially a lot of vacationers or tourists or skiers are going to be coming in on the slopes. They need help.
True.
Right?
Yeah. As I always say, you go from a grape to a raisin in 24 hours in Colorado. But unfortunately, like if I was going to go down to Texas or go down to the southern states at all, going to do the opposite. It's not going to take me to a grape again in 24 hours. It does, and I love that. And even for some people, it's like you don't need as much moisture when you're down in the Sudan, because it's like I can never have too much of it, right?
Right.
Yeah, love that.
When did you first know that you wanted to be in this industry, makeup artist, skincare professional, as well as a high-profile personality?
Yeah, you're so cute. Thank you. I time, and I have never decided to be in this industry yet. 34 years that I've been in it. So the one thing that this industry wanted me in it, and one thing led to another, it put me into it. I just moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and I had always been a waiter in Georgia to go to art school there for design, and so and they put me in the cosmetic department, and it's been 34 years since then. So knowledge about makeup, I had no knowledge about skincare, no nothing, but I had been a professional. So it was simple and easy for them to say, here, let's put you in the cosmetic department. And I'm like, but okay, great, let's do it. And then just quickly, my career just rose quickly, from the very first company that I worked with to a national makeup artist within 6 weeks of starting with that company. And then I opened a company called Borghese Cosmetics, and I ended up growing with that company and vice president for them. And then I went to work with another company called Bobbi Brown. Didn't even know what I was doing when I interviewed for that job. And all of a sudden I was Bobbi's director of global education. And one thing led to another. And then I moved to Denver, and it's been a wonderful gift. It's been a wonderful journey. It's been a lot of fun. The thing that I think I like the most about it, Jill, is I really like trans, and in my former life, I would do celebrities and all that kind of stuff. But every once in a while, I still get to do that kind of stuff. But really what I love action when I am sitting with a client in front of me and taking a woman who might not and make her feel wonderful. And it's the same thing with a gentleman, in front of me, and he is chronic darkness, or he's got chronic dry. Fix that for him. He feels so much better for himself. And I don't care if he's 20s or 80s. Anybody can start feeling better about themselves at any age.
And that's why this show is called Happy Skin Over 50. Everybody deserves happy skin, right? Some of these names and companies that you were mentioning, I've got two questions. I'm going to start with the second one first, with these names you were mentioning. So did you ever work through Bergdorf Goodman in New York?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
I was in Bergdorf Goodman all the time, across the street from Bergdorf Goodman. So
what?
It was always
then I'm going to go back
fun
to
to
the
go.
first. I'm going to go back to the first question. When they put you in the art department, what did that mean? I mean, when they put you in the cosmetics, I got to correct myself. What did that mean?
Yeah.
When you went to art school?
No. I moved down to go, and I never started because I wanted to get my residency in the state of Georgia. And so I went to work. And so I was Savannah School of the Art had just opened a new camp, and I was going to go there for interior design. And one thing led to another, and I never did interior design on the side every once in a while, but it's just more of a fun thing for me. But when I went to work in the cosmetic department, I will never forget this story as long as I was booked for a makeup application with me. And I just looked at no idea what I'm going to do with this lady, because I have no idea what to do with makeup on her. I still wish I could find that woman and apologize for that first makeup application on her. How pretty, to say the least.
She probably appreciated it, and it made her feel better than she felt when she came in, right?
I think you're there. Because I don't think so. My career, I have been 100% self-taught, and every woman or every person is beautiful in their own right. And as a provider of this, is we need to really sit there and just look and see the individual rather than covering up that individual. When I sit there and I look at everything, and you see that they're putting 14 and 15 items on the skin before they an eyebrow or an eyeliner, and I'm like, who kind of time in their life, right? My clients are busy executives, or busy whoever, and they need things that are going to be impactful, and they need it to be happening right. So make it simple, right?
Right. That leads to another question that I was wondering about this morning before we went live. Should everyone wear, men and or women, wear a lip color or lipstick or lip shades on their lips?
For men, and often I feel like our lips are so dry because we don't do much to them, right?
Right.
So the wonderful lip balm by Lyra Clinical is always in my pocket, and it always gives me right.
Right.
And then with women,
that's a good lip balm.
So hydrating, and just, oh my God, it feels so good on your lips. But anyway, I do believe that women need some color if they need color, and have no idea just how bright and plump their lips already are, because and they feel like, oh, well, my friend Jill is wearing a red lipstick. Why don't I wear a red? Jill looks right in it where it might not look right on you. And so you really need to make sure that you're finding you really bright you up, but freshens you up in a new way. As I always say, your eyes and your lips are your supremes, okay? So the backup singers have to be there to bring out the lead singer look and a freshness to the face.
Because some will need to go toward the blues and purples in tones and hues, and then some need to go more toward the yellows and oranges and stuff. What about those people that put, try things on the back of their hand? Oh, this is good lip shade, I'm going to buy it, and then they get home and put it on their lips, and it's like, well, it didn't look like it did on my hand.
Exactly, because your hand and your lips are two totally different colors, right? It's just like my lips are pink, my hands are beige, okay? So it's just not going to look right. And you can do that, but ultimately you've got to try it on. And I realize that's why I love with my clients, they can come in here, they can sit down, we can play, but also, even if you don't have the ability to come to a makeup studio and you're or something like that, the great thing about a store like Target or Ulta, you can return that are not right for you. And that's a great thing. It's just like buying that blouse. If you had bought it and it didn't fit, you would take it back, right? And the same thing. And it's like with, hopefully, their lipsticks that we picked out.
I think I'm losing you, Michael. Are you back? Yeah, I kind of lost you there for a little while. Were we being censored? Can't hear you. I can't hear you. Is your mic on? Cannot hear you. I'm still not hearing anything, so I don't know if on my end your audio is on. It's still not working for audio. Okay.
Okay, can you hear you now?
Okay, we've got you back.
Can you see me?
I thought maybe we were being censored. Now, was that our Miss Kayla?
Yeah, that was Miss Kayla helping us.
Well, it's good to finally meet her. Yeah. We communicate email.
Hmm.
Um, then I'm going to go over a couple of things here. What is the most fun procedure that you like to do, Michael?
I think a makeup lesson. Yeah,
A lesson?
a
And
makeup
then
lesson.
okay, now that brings up something too that I wanted to ask about that I'm sure our viewers would be interested in. You do virtual consultations, right? You have
Yes.
a consultation meeting session appointment,
Hmm.
right? Virtual, yeah.
Yes.
So all of Michael's contact information, y'all, is in the description. So if you're Facebook, it's up here, and if you're YouTube, it's here.
Yeah.
Um, and then what trend right now should just not be?
The the trend that should not be is
Yeah.
probably, especially for people in over 50, is architectural eyeliner, because it's going really bright, it's going really strong, and it's like there's no quicker way of aging yourself than doing something like that. Quick, quick, quick way. You
What
know.
do you mean by architectural eyeliner? Now, on myself, of course, I'm over 50, well over 50, and I use a powder eyeliner, not wet, but just, I'll brush that on me and it's a little bit blurred. So, what do you mean by architectural eyeliner?
Architectural eyeliner is really what you're doing is you're taking a very bright color, like maybe even something like this, bright
Uh
here,
huh.
and you're just taking it and you're putting it right on the eye, and it's being so obvious. And as I always say to anybody, if somebody looks at you and says, "Oh, wow, I really love that eyeshadow you have on," I always say, go to the nearest restroom and remove it, because they should be seeing your eye, not your eyeliner or your eyeshadow, right? They
Yes.
should, and that's what we really teach them here at More for Life, is exactly how to get the look that really shows them in the most perfect light, rather than noticing what the makeup is on the face.
On the inside, let's discuss on the inside. Now we've got you like backwards, so I'm seeing the back of your phone. I don't know if you can see
Oh,
that or not, but I'm afraid to do any changing because I don't want to lose you again.
I
But on
know.
the inside, um, collagen and probiotic. What are your comments on those
Yeah. Did you get it? Oh, collagen is so important.
on
It
the inside?
is, yes, most definitely. And also I really coach my clients on, a powdered collagen every single morning in your coffee or whatever you drink in the morning is very important for you. But also things like bone broth, anything, bone marrow, all those kind of things are really great for you. It's harder if you're a vegan or a vegetarian to be able to get those kind of things, but you can still get stem cell type of things that you can do. The other thing I'm a big fan of is here in Colorado, we do a lot of hydration IVs. And about every week, I will go and get an IV to give me more hydration, but give me more vitamin C, give me some glutathione, which is great for cellular health, things like that. Those are very important things for you to do for the renewal of the body, for the renewal of the cells. But it also ultimately just makes the skin look better, doesn't it?
Yes. Now I make my own bone broth and I use bones. But I do know I have a family member who is vegan, and there is a vegan vegetarian bone broth. I don't know. Excuse me
Yeah.
about
What
the
kind of
bone.
bone what kind of bone that vegan
Excuse
has,
me.
right?
Yeah, I talk about being vegan and I get choked up.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Okay.
doing those kind of things is always great for cellular health. It's great for collagen. It's great for everything. You poor thing. Are you okay? Okay.
It was just the thought of being vegan, I think. I'm sorry, you vegan people, fans. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
What is your feeling on filters and the high definition? Of course, when that came. Gosh, it was over 10 years ago, I think, when suddenly, like the network news stations went high definition, and boy, all of the newscasters and anchors went scattering.
Yeah,
But what about filters and social media?
I think they're horrible. It's fake. It's all fake. But that I feel the same way with the filters on social media, the filters on your Zoom camera, all that kind of stuff, because But it's also the same thing. You know, I get my PR pictures taken about every 2 to 3 years
Right.
because I want somebody to authentically walk in and see, oh, wait, that's the person that's in the picture, not another person. And I will not let my pictures be retouched at all. You know, they might brighten up a little bit underneath your eye or something like
Mm.
that if there's just like some darkness or a speck or something, but I will not let
Or a
them,
shadow.
exactly. I will not let them airbrush my photos at all because I want them to authentically look and see who the person is. And it was interesting years ago, I was at a trade show in Vegas, and there's somebody here in Denver, who their name, but they have a really pretty prominent skincare brand. And all of a sudden, I look over and I see this huge picture hanging from the ceiling in the Las Vegas Convention Center. And all of a sudden, I walk over and I said, "Oh, where is so and so?" And she's like, "I'm right here."
Yes.
I didn't even recognize her. That her either her PR picture was so airbrushed or her PR picture was so old, and I'm like, that's not authenticity. You know, you need to be authentic. Our world is all about make believe right now, and I believe in trying to show up in the world as an authentic being.
Yes, and that's exactly why I took my computer uh,
Glasses off.
tripod off. Now, thi- I think, really and truly, Michael, I think you are the first person that I've heard, especially first professional, that wants people to see you like you look.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I built my whole career, especially my current company, my former company that I sold a while ago. I built it with one woman in mind, which was my mother. And I was born and raised on a dairy farm in Michigan. And my mother had, in my life, I saw her in a full face of makeup maybe once or twice, and that was it. And unfortunately, one of them to be at her funeral. So she passed away at a pretty young age in her 50s. And with that being said, when you saw my mother, you saw her 100%. You didn't have to go through the layers and layers of makeup and everything to see her. And so I built my company with that thought in process in mind, and that you can actually really see who a woman is. And I want a woman to show up authentically, a man to show up authentically, and just see yourself in the person you are. You know, as I always say, God didn't make any mistakes, did he? So,
That's what I say often, and people just kind of stare at me. But I say,
mhm.
if I walk out of a treatment room and a new client has come in or something, this is what they'll see.
Yeah,
Sometimes without makeup, but this is what they'll see. It looks just like what you're seeing on my profile pictures or on any of my video podcasts or shows or anything, because I feel like it is truth in advertising. I think it's
hmm,
false advertising when there are all of these filters and um, because this is my business.
yeah,
Skincare is my business. Talking about skincare is my business. And so I'm not going to try to put on a mask. Did you mention dairy? You had dairy farms?
I was born and raised on a dairy farm in Michigan. Yeah,
Okay. Something that I have always grown up because I'm in East Texas area,
yeah,
Northeast Texas, and there are a lot of dairy farms around here. And what I always noticed, Daddy had a grocery store, and the people that would come into the grocery store on Saturdays that had dairy farms and everything, the men and the women, and they still do, but they're not coming in. Daddy's grocery store is long gone.
yeah,
They had the loveliest, healthiest looking skin. And
hmm,
then, of course, when I got into the industry, um, discovering more about peptides and where they come from and everything, it's like, oh, that makes so much sense. Dairy
yeah,
farmers uh, have beautiful skin.
yeah. I mean, agreed, 100%. You know, of course, yes. But the one thing I always say too about being born and raised on a dairy farm for myself is your immune system is really strong because you're around so much, lack of better terms, crap, you know, and you're around so much of it. And you can't help but have a really strong immune system if you're working in that kind of environment. That's why I think it's so sad right nowadays when we are doing so when of course aside of the pandemic, all of the antibacterial gels and everything that so many people are using, we need that bacteria to protect us. We need that bacteria to build our immune system. Same way, as I was telling a story at a photo shoot on Monday that, my wonderful joy was when I was a kid is when you would walk through the cow pastures and the cow pies were set, they were kind of wet, and then they would get kind of dry on the outside, and they were perfect just to pick them up and sling them at your brother and hit him in the face with.
Before frisbees, right?
Exactly.
That's the country kids frisbee. Yeah,
Exactly. My
there
parents didn't have to
even
pay
used to
for it.
be contests with that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Or horse puckies. You pick those up and you just like, bam, right,
Yeah,
hitting your sister in the head.
county fairs used to have those.
That's so funny.
Um, okay, what are you finding are people's major concerns, and at what age now? I'm finding that people are younger having concerns, and then even the ones that are in their late 80s and the 90s now are suddenly expressing more concern. What what are you finding major concerns, and at what ages?
The two big things I always notice is, first of all, the eye area. The eye area is always the number one. I don't care if it's my clients that's in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, a woman who's in her 60s, 70s, or 80s. The eye area is always the number one thing.
Yeah.
And I personally don't believe in plastic surgery, but I send so many of my clients to get their eyes done. Because if
Uh-huh.
you can just uplift that, I
Yeah.
don't care if you're slack down through here, you're going to feel better when you look in the mirror to get your eyes done, right? So those are the number one thing I would say. And then the throat is the number two thing that are the big concerns for most people. We have a product that we sell here called Silk Skin, SILC. And it's this wonderful medical grade product that you can actually put it on medical grade silicone. Medical grade silicone you put on here and you sleep in it for 2 weeks, and then you can do it every 2 to 3 days. And what it does is it truly lifts your neck. It's unbelievable. They have them for the full face. They have them. We only sell the ones for the décolleté. We sell it for the neck, and we sell it for the full face. It's amazing, and it was created by a makeup artist who did Star Trek for 15 years.
Oh,
And what happened is when they went from foam prosthetics to silicone prosthetics, she noticed that her client's skin was getting better and the
yes.
wrinkles were getting softer. And so things like that, I love that inventions like that are coming out and that we are seeing great results where we don't have to go under the knife as much.
Now, does somebody have to have a consultation with you, or can they go to your website and buy that silk
Yeah.
skin with a C directly?
Yep, exactly. They can buy it right on our website.
Okay, so they just go to your website.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any comments or anything before we get to our final question, Michael?
No, I do want to say thank you for having me on here, and hopefully, I'll get to meet some of your followers. And I know you've got a great following, and I love what you have been doing in this industry for so many years, Jill.
Oh, thank you so much. This has been so much fun, Michael, and I'm glad that you shared your time with us. I am
Thank
so
you.
grateful for that. So, our last question, then our closing question: what or who has been your inspiration to get you in this industry doing what you do?
Once again, going back to what we said earlier, falling into this industry was a big fluke, okay? But I would say the inspiration is once again my mother, and God rest her soul. She's been gone for 30 years now. And she has always been my inspiration because I've always felt like my mother was one of the most beautiful women you would ever see because you really got to see her and you got to see an authentic woman. And her name was Norma Jean. And you got to see Norma Jean every, sorry, I'm getting choked up about this. You got to see Norma Jean every single day of her life. And she showed up until the day that she took that last breath.
That is so special.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm getting choked up too over Norma Jean.
Thank you. So sorry. I didn't think he's telling that story.
I know, and we all owe have a debt of gratitude toward Norma Jean, because you have led so many people in this industry and you have inspired so many people in this industry. And it all came kind of trickled down from Norma Jean, right?
Exactly. Yeah. In so many ways, it trickled down from Norma Jean. But exactly.
Thank you for joining us on this show, and to our viewers, you're certainly welcome to share this YouTube link or Facebook link. Get in contact with Michael if you have questions and want to make a virtual appointment with him, and then he can quote you what you need to know from there. Right, Michael?
Most definitely. I look forward to it. It's moreforlife.com. Okay.
Thank you so much.